Greetings. I Luminos, Ru, the bright one. So now this time I'm coming to you with a message, okay, with the truth about ancient Egypt and why it is important for the world that we live in at this time to understand and take what occurred there very, very seriously. Now, the truth about ancient Egypt is that it is much, much older than what we know. First thing, much, much older than what we know now, and in their own records written in stone all over their land. To them, the concept of identity was as important as the breath in their lungs itself. They were fanatic to the core about their identity. Okay, fanatic to the max about their identity, who they were, the name they called themselves, and the name they called their land. Okay, the name they called their land. So what we have to understand at this time is they considered their identity as important as the breath in their very lungs itself. That's how ancient Egyptians saw themselves. And they had a history that for exceeded 50,000 years that was recorded history beyond 50,000 years. History that painted a whole picture, a very, very grand picture of the whole planet, the whole solar system. A history that didn't just include just this planet alone or that land alone, but the whole galaxy. To them, their religion, there was no such thing as religion. They didn't have that thing. They didn't have that concept. They didn't have what we call religion. No, they don't. What they had was a system called self-realization. Okay, self-realization. That is what they had. That's the system that they practiced. And of course, just like anywhere else, along the way, as the numbers grew and more foreigners came to call that space home, many other belief systems took form. And those belief systems began to distort their own belief system and took what they had there and changed it into their own. So over the course of many years, I think somewhere in the vicinity of 3,000 years, foreigners who moved into the land we call Ancient Egypt, they call the starland or the land of the stars. That's what the pyramids were for, the land of the stars. That's what they called it. So the land of the stars, when people from all over the globe moved to the land of the stars, they were welcome. Those who came there with peace were welcome as family. There were no visa requirements. They were welcome. They were given land. They were given space to develop and grow, and they were helped. They were given food. Over time, most of the people who came from other places began to develop their own belief systems based on what was available there at the time. Unfortunately, not all the belief systems that developed there were based on the truth. Over time, many foreigners corrupted the belief systems that were there, changed it, transformed. Once it did, the nation fell into chaos. Every time the belief systems were changed from what it was to what it was supposed to be, what it wasn't supposed to be, the nation will fall into chaos. And that was represented by the rising and falling of Egypt. Every time the religions or the belief system was solid, it was based on self-realization, and the ruler at that time was doing his work. There was peace. Peace and tranquility, and they thrived. But the minute a bunch of ding-dongs came in and interfered with the belief systems and created a bunch of nonsense and forced their way into place of power, they will cause chaos. They will cause problems. They'll begin to corrupt the system. They'll begin to corrupt the people. And that is what eventually led to the weakening of ancient Egypt. Foreigners who came there and distorted the belief systems. Distorted it. Great numbers, and distorted it. And started trying to change the people of that land. And eventually caused a fracture within the state of the kingdom itself. So once that fracture occurred, that was when the Persians came in with the Arabs, the Greeks, the Romans, Indians, Chinese, almost all the kingdoms who were strong at that time combined forces to invade Starland, a place we call ancient Egypt, to overthrow the ruler at that time and change the whole world. Pretty much, consequently, turned the whole world upside down. So what caused ancient Egypt to become what it has become today There's a corruption of their belief system by people who are not local to that land, and then decided to change the whole nation, to allow themselves, to be corrupted by the spiritual toxins, the negative low vibrational spirits who were present at that time, what they call set, low vibrational spirits who were present at that time. People who moved from outside ancient Egypt into ancient Egypt, who took on and embodied the spiritual corruption that was present there, fractured the kingdom from within, and worked with foreign powers like the Persians, Arabs, Greeks, Romans, who invaded that land, worked with them to weaken the state, and then eventually helped dismantle that kingdom. What is happening in this world today is a product of things that were done there to the people of that land. Because the reality that we need to understand is the light that gives us life to exist. That is the space this light calls home. And that is proven by the pyramids. That is the space that is light we call the sun, the giver of life for this planet. That is where this light calls home. That is where this light wants to settle. Okay? When this light, it is through that space that this light produces energy in order to feed the whole planet. Right now, Muslims dominate that land. People who oppose this light and hate this light dominate that land. So we have to understand that where the world is today is a product of how messed up the world has become. And that mess is a product of the belief systems. Belief systems that believe in taking other people's things by force, things that don't belong to them by force, and making it your own. Belief systems that believe in violence. Belief systems that corrupt human nature. That is what brought ancient Egypt to where it is today, what we call ancient Egypt to where it is today. And that space is the spiritual headquarters of the whole planet. That is the spiritual throne of the planet. That at this time is occupied by people who hate light, driven by violence, the most violent, most oppressive, most intolerant religion of the planet at this time. So we have to understand that. We have to understand it, and we have to understand the consequences of the state that Egypt is in at this time, the space we call Egypt is in at this time. Okay? What we need to understand is that nobody anywhere has a right to march into another person's home, another person's land, and seize it by force. Nobody has the right to do that. And we are where we are today because of people who claim to have that right to take arms and march into other people's land, other people's homes, attack them by force, seize their properties, sell it, and claim that they have the right to do that. Okay? When in truth, they have no right to do that when it is against the law. This madness is part of the driving force behind where the world is today. You understand? The truth is that most of what we know about ancient Egypt today are all lies. And part of the work to healing this planet begins with addressing that mess, because that place, that land, sits at the very center of the planet. It represents a very, very important real estate of this planet. It is the most important piece of land on this planet, bar none. And the energy that rules that space has more effect on the whole planet than anywhere else. You understand? The energy that now occupies the land we call Egypt is the driving force behind all the mess we are seeing in the world today. And we need to understand that. That the occupation of Egypt by Muslims is illegal in the eyes of the Creator, the giver of life. And he wants them removed. You understand that? And in part of the work to restore sanity, restore peace to this planet, begins with addressing the mess that is now sitting in the most important piece of land on the planet, Egypt. We have to address that. That has to be addressed. That has to be addressed. Those people were the most spiritually advanced human beings on this planet. And what was done to them initiated events that finally got us to that are responsible for pushing us to where we are today. And we need to understand that. We need to understand that. So I'm working, part of Operation Exodus is to replace the lies that have been spread about ancient Egypt, and foremost, and to repair the damage that was caused to them, the people of that land, heal it, so that we can eventually neutralize the karmic repercussions of that evil brought us, that initiated the destruction of that land, that civilization, and how to understand it and repair what must be repaired, heal what must be healed, and neutralize the karmic repercussions of those events. Capiche? Hope you hear me. That's the work. That's part of the work that we're here to do. And I share this with those who are connected to that land, who are part of the mission to repair and restore that, to repair the damage that was caused to this planet when that land, the people, were attacked. Capiche? But I say I live with peace, love, and light, and I look forward connecting with those of you who are connected to that land, who are now reincarnated back into this lifetime to help with the mission of fulfilling our destiny.